Let's talk about micro-segmentation. Well, there was a time initially when marketers used to do carpet bombing, which means they used to reach out to their audience base with the same message. Then came a time when people used to segment their audience, which means if you have 1,000 people, instead of reaching to all of them with the same message, you will divide it perhaps between 250 and 254 pieces of segments, and you will reach out to each one of these segments with a different message. Now we are in the age of micro-segmentation, which means rather than dividing this 1,000 audience size into 250, you will divide maybe into 10, 50, 40, basically in varying sizes, basis certain nuanced attributes, right? And where we are heading towards ultra personalization, where you don't even want to divide them into 10, 50, or 40, or whatever number it is. You actually want to reach out to each individual at n equals to 1 level, which means as per their personalized behavior, right? But anyways, we are not talking about ultra personalization, we are talking about micro segmentation. Hello everyone, this is Nidhi Singh and you're watching Digital Marketing. On this channel we have been talking about artificial intelligence, how tech in the martech space is changing a lot of things at a very fast pace, and how we are moving towards ultra personalization. So let's deep dive in this topic. Before we deep dive into micro-segmentation, we should understand what is exactly segmentation. Basically, segmentation is dividing your audience base based on their age, gender, life cycle stage, preferences, etc. But this is still broad, right? For example, in segmentation, you might divide everyone who is falling between, say, 18 to 25 as college goers. But in case of micro segmentation, you might classify them further: 18 to 25 people who follow hip hop culture, 18 to 25 micro segment 1 hip hop culture, micro segment 2 people who are geeks, who are gadget freaks, micro segment 3 people who love arts, which means if suppose you are a music brand like not a music brand but an app like Spotify, instead of reaching out to 18 to 25 with one strategy, you will create strategy for all these micro segments. You will have one strategy for your hip hop lovers. You will reach out to them with hip hop music. People who are art lovers, maybe you perhaps figure out these are people who like more soothing kind of romantic kind of music. You will figure out classical lovers. So basically you will do further segregation in your segment. So that is called micro-segmentation. Now let's talk about what are the benefits of micro-segmentation. Well, taking the Spotify example, think about it. When you reach out to different set of people with what they like, they have a stronger affinity towards your product. So a very natural answer to this is that you get higher conversion, whether that conversion is more clicks, more music consumption, more acquisition, whatever it is. People tend to like your brand more if you do micro segmentation. And that's not it. When you are doing micro segmentation, you are also improving your efficiency, because when you are doing broad strokes on your entire audience and sending the same message, you're actually wasting a lot of resources. For example, if I love romantic kind of music, I'm not into hip hop culture, then if you are sending me an email that talks about hip hop, I'm not going to respond to it. So essentially, when we are doing broad based segmenting, we are wasting a lot of resources in a way. But when we send specific message, then we reach out to the right audience with the right message, and that kind of improves our efficiency. So point 2 is improved efficiency. And that brings to the third point as well, which is like you have greater understanding of the customer. If earlier I thought all my customers are in the age band of 18 to 25 and that's as much detail as I can get about them, then now I know that my customers are these people who like hip hop, who like hard rock, who like romantic songs, who like classical. And tomorrow when I am launching a product, I can figure out that what is it that's most popular, which is it where I have maximum of my customers? Is it classical? Do I need to bring a product which revolves around classical, or do I need to bring a product which revolves around hard rock? So yeah, basically you can have deeper insight, and then you can take more educated decisions regarding your product, services, solutions, everything. Now, well, I spoke about all things hunky dory, but there is a lot of things that need to be considered. For example, when you do micro segmentation, there is a possibility that you might miss some kind of audience, which means you might end up over segmenting. What does it mean? It means that you have sliced your audience size so thinly that it loses its meaning, right? You start slicing and dicing your musical levels. I don't actually know so many category to give you finer examples, but I don't know, in classical, you start doing further categorization that people start thinking that why am I so restricted with certain kind of recommendation. And last point to note about microsegmentation is, well, it needs a lot of data capture, because unless you know all this nuanced information, for example, if unless you know all the genres of music people listen to and they like, when you are a brand like Spotify, you will not be able to do microsegmentation, right? Which means in order to do microsegmentation, you need to have rich, pure data. And that comes with a rich martech stack, which means all of this is a bit expensive affair. It is a complex process, and you need right set of people, basically be a team to do it. So yeah, that's something else that you need to keep in mind. Yeah, all right. So, one thing that I wanted to cover is every time I post a video, I get comments. Well, Nidhi, these are very informative videos, but we also want you to cover some actionable insights. So, I absolutely agree to you, and it makes a lot of sense. So, I thought I'll cover a quick checklist so that you can start doing microsegmentation yourself. So, say you want to get started with this process. The first step to do so is define your target audience, right? How do you do that? You start by understanding who your target audience is. You start seeing their attributes, like what is their age, what is their demography, what is their behavior, what interest do they have, and that's how you get started. The step number 2 is start gathering data, both in terms of qualitative data and quantitative data. What does it mean? Qualitative data such as age, income, or where do they live, that's your that's your quantitative data. And qualitative data such as interest, attitudes, behavior, psychographic information, subtle things about people, right? So you need to start gathering this information, and you need to start gathering this information in a shape and form that you can further analyze, right? You can't store them randomly. You need to have proper systems so that you can do further analysis on this data. So naturally, once you have gathered this information, you need to analyze it. You can, in order to, if you don't have any systems yet, you can start doing gathering this information even in Excel. You can start by doing this you can make richer lead forms, so that when people are creating their login IDs and password, they provide you enough and more information so that you can analyze it further. You can download Excel reports and start making pivot tables, and start identifying patterns and trends so that you can do microsegmentation. Typically, to analyze this information, you would need a business analytics team to put sophisticated models in a complex system. But if your systems are not as complex yet and you want to do at an individual level, you can even get started with Excel by simply, churning the data and identifying data patterns, right? The third step is to, once you have done all this, you need to create segment profile. What does it mean? For example, take the music app example that we took, right? Spotify example. You need to create what kind of profile listens to hip hop music or classical music. You need to kind of create a persona, put a customer picture, write their attributes, and create a persona. Go and Google if you don't know how to create a persona. And once you have done that, start making marketing, sending marketing communications to them. Basically, start testing and refining this. So, if you think these are the people who like hip hop, send hip hop music recommendations to them and then see how do they respond. Are they clicking through it? If they're not clicking through it, maybe your estimation is wrong. They are not really into hip hop, or maybe they are into hip hop but they don't like new kind of hip hop. They are liking, say, 1990s hip hop. So basically, you need to start testing and refining your hypothesis. So if you're a car manufacturer, think about age, income, lifestyle. What do they use this car for? Are they taking it for individual purpose, or are they taking it for family? Do they want to go to office on a daily basis, or is this something for their vacation? Think about these scenarios when you start building micro segments. Each brand will have certain attributes that will give you a kickstart to start creating these micro segments. For example, if you are a skincare brand targeting specific segment for say a face cream, you will have to think about things like what is the age of the user, right? What is the gender of that user? What is the skin type? How many different skin types are there? And do I need to create micro segment for each? And what problems and concerns do they have? Which regions do they live in? Do they live in Bombay, where humidity is high, or dry weather like Delhi? So you need to think about these things when you're creating micro segmentation for a skincare brand. So if you are a beauty salon, again, you will not just think about age, where do they live, the humidity level, and all that stuff for their hair you need to know. You will also think about whether their hair, you're treating hair which are curly or flat or frizzy or wavy, right? So I'm giving you some examples so that you can think about your business line before you start creating microsegmentation. So we have understood microsegmentation, and we have seen steps to how to go about creating microsegmentation and some examples as well. Now is the time when I want you to hit the comment section, type what kind of business line you are into, and how will you approach creating microsegmentation for your business. If you have some examples, do comment. If you have some questions, do comment. And if you want to know how to create microsegment for your specific business, do type what kind of business you are into and what challenges you're facing. I will try to answer them. That's all for now. This is Nidhi Singh signing off. I would insist you to go and check out my videos on how artificial intelligence is changing the world of marketing. This will kind of give you a clue where we are heading in terms of consumer marketing personalization. That's all for now. Bye bye.